Hi, this is Girls Only Hoops. This episode, we're going to be discussing the 2024 OHSAA Regional Semifinals. We're going to go through each bracket, Division 4 through 1, call out some of the teams' matchups and some of the best players. As always, you know we're going to go off on a few tangents, but please join us, stay with us. I'll be on air with Tenishia, Benson, and Angie, Saiter. So like, comment, subscribe to Girls Only Hoops for all tournament coverage, and check out this episode. And we're back to cover the 2024 OHSAA Girls State Tournament. We are at the regional semifinal level. I am Candace Allen from Girls Only Hoops with Tenishia Benson. And as always, friends of the show, Angie, Saiter, welcome in. You already know the spiel. You know what we're going to talk about. So we're going to get right into it. No need to waste. All these teams have been playing really well. We want to say good luck to all of them. But we do want to go through all of the brackets just to go over some matchups and things like that. So we're going to start with Division 4. These are the regional semifinals. We have Region 13, 15, 16, and 14. So let's just call out a couple teams. So in Region 13, we have Loudonville, Lakeside, Danbury, New Middletown, Springfield, and Richmond Heights. Angie,
I like Loudonville.
Benson.
You know, Tyler Graves, that's my guy.
Uh-oh.
You know what I mean? I like him. I like what he's doing with his program. He's been doing it for years. So I think they've got a good chance. And they fought pretty hard. Richmond Heights is super quick. I mean, they are athletic. They're going to get in the passing lane. Just those type of things that you really don't really see in Division 4.
Right.
It's a different style. I think that could be good out of Region 13. What you got, Angie?
I like Loudonville too. I think they're playing really great basketball right now. I like them a lot, and I don't know. I could see them going pretty far.
I do too, especially because they're going to. If it's all said and done, let's say those two teams win. Again, good luck to everyone. They would possibly meet
In the regional finals.
right,
Okay.
which is going to be pretty. I mean, two different style teams,
Right.
You know. Those would be, if we're talking about picks, we're talking about teams that could possibly make some noise. Yeah, okay.
That's what we're looking at. So let's move on to Region 15. We got Portsmouth, Notre Dame, the one we always see year after year, Berlin Highland, Waterford, and again, another team, Newark Catholic. What do we see out of Region 15?
That's honestly the toughest one. I don't know how you feel about it, Angie, but this is one of the toughest regions, honestly. Waterford, we've always heard their name.
Mm-hmm.
Newark Catholic is playing amazing. And then Berlin Highland, what are you going to do with that?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's
again, Portsmouth, we've heard Notre Dame, we've heard them before too. What was it, 2 years ago? 2 or 3 years ago? They were in conversation, states and all that. Yeah. Ugh, I would not want to be in this region.
And this is a tough one. But I think I'm going to have to go. Like, I think, again, Newark Catholic can make it pretty far. I know that their past game against Fisher Catholic, they were down. They were down a good bit for a good portion of the game. And then they just came back and they figured it out.
I was at that game. We got highlights we're going to put them in post, but Kylie Gibson.
Yeah.
Caught fire. Got loose. Couldn't do anything with her. I mean, she must have hit, it felt like she hit four three-pointers in a row. And it was a wrap after that.
I mean, you got to get hot. If you're going to get hot now.
Oh, she got hot. And then, they had a great defensive strategy to contain Ellie Bruce. I mean, they stuck one player in front of her, one player behind her, and it was just, she didn't have enough space to move around. So that defensive strategy, and then Kylie shooting like that.
Yeah. Ellie's not an easy player to shut down. Contain.
She's great. Yeah.
You got to have a strategy.
Yeah, you do.
You can't just, especially now going into states, it doesn't matter what division.
For sure.
You better have a strategy.
For sure. So, not to say what other teams need to watch out for, but that number 4, Kylie Gibson, you don't want to get let loose because when she's streaky, she start hitting. It was just like
lights out.
Lights out.
Yeah.
Well, and like what we mentioned in the last discussion that we had with the tournament, again, we can't. Waterford again knows how to get there. Avery Wagner's playing really well. So is Kendall. I don't know. It's going to be a good game, but I can see where maybe it might be Newark Catholic's chance to get past and move on.
Tough region.
tough region. Tough
It is.
region. And we're going to move to Region 16, Union City. And then Maria Stein, Marion Local, Fort Laramie, and then Russia. We got some teams that got some names. Fort Laramie we've heard before. We have
Summer Hoy
teams here that are making some noise.
Yeah. This region, we see quite a bit of, I wouldn't say unfamiliar names when we're talking about when we're getting to the end. We've seen these names before. Mm-hmm. You've just seen the Fort Laramies push to that next level of actually, making it, getting close to it. And you've kind of got some newer names. But again, when you've seen them over a couple years,
right,
teams start to put it together. That's how you really start to build your name. Like the Afrocentrics, way before, they weren't Afrocentric until they started to figure it out and then put it together.
Right.
So we could have another team come out of this area. We know Fort Laramie, but we could have another team come out of this area and shock all of us because they've been building for 2-3 years.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
And judging by some of the games that, at least some of the Central games I was able to go to last year, seeds don't matter, games don't matter. None of that matters in the tournament.
Right.
Right plan, right strategy, and a tad bit of luck, it can be anybody's game.
Gotta have a look. Right?
And boy, did we see that yesterday in the Marysville game. I mean, again, you just don't know. And that's why you go out and compete.
Yeah.
And the last region here in Division 4 is Gibsonburg, Columbus Grove, Tiffin, Calvert, and Convoy Crestview. What do we see matchups coming out of Region 14?
I'm going Crestview. Ooh.
I don't know. I think that can be a toss-up, too. I don't know.
Yeah.
This one's a tough one, too.
I still would stick with Crestview on that specific game. Mm-hmm. I think the game before that could be a toss-up. But I mean, this is Division 4. This is what makes it so difficult.
Right.
Like, you get an opportunity to make your own name. Mm-hmm. And that's what you see in Division 4. I mean, once we get to Division 1, there are going to be team names that everyone has heard throughout the whole entire state, throughout the whole entire country. Let's be honest. Division 4 gets a chance to create a name for himself.
For sure.
Right? And then, I mean, are we putting this out there? We're going to 6 divisions next year.
Is it 6 or 7?
It's 7?
It's 7.
7.
No.
I think it is 7.
Oh. How do you have 7 state?
We're
Wait a
going
minute.
to have to do another girls only show to break all of this down. But yeah, it's 7 divisions.
7?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Who voted on that? Okay, never mind.
We're just going to say out of Division 4 this year, we're going to move right along and say it's anybody's game here in Division 4. Like you said, we have some mainstays. We have teams that have been around but haven't got to that point to just push forward. So these were a few of the teams in the 4 regions in the regional semifinals for Division 4. Again, good luck to all the ladies. We're going to move on and keep the train rolling, going on to Division 3. Again, it's kind of a similar thing, like you said. Once we get to 2 and 1, we'll see some mainstays.
Yeah.
But we still have some new teams kind of mixing around in here. So in Division 3, there's 4 regions, of course. So we'll start with Region 12. The mainstay, always 8-time state champion, the Afrocentric Nubians. Cincinnati Country Day, another one we see a lot. Versailles, and then another program we see all the time, Kettering Altar. So Region 12, that looks to be a good one to keep your eye out on. Who you guys see at least making it to the regional finals in Region 12?
Afrocentric?
Yep.
Like, what are we talking about? We didn't give it a crown. We said this last time, and I'm going to keep saying it until someone beats them. I'm sorry, it's their crown. I can say whatever I want to say about Afrocentric. You know why? Because it doesn't matter. They are on a totally different wavelength of how they get ready for it. They don't care who's talking about them or what people's opinions are. Like, they're locked into what they've got to do. Sure. That's just a championship team. Like, it's their crown. Like, I'm sorry, but I mean, yeah.
And I think their defense intensity is something it's very difficult to match up with that because it's any 5 that are out there and they are going to be in your grill, hardly any space that they're going to provide you. And that's just how they play the entire game. And there's not a lot of teams that can do that.
No, we talked about this once we get to Pick Central about championship teams are dominating on the offensive end and the defensive end.
Correct.
These teams that we're talking about, Division 4, Division 3, 2, and we're not going into too much detail, but I see a lot of 3-point shots going up.
Oh, for sure.
I do. I see a lot of shooting. I see a lot of times the ball is going in a lot more than not, so kudos.
Not raising a roof.
Yeah, but the truth of the matter is that you got to have it on the defensive end. You got to be able to contain people. You got to be able to lock it. Like, even just like throughout the year, I've talked to Coach Tenishia about how she's changed up her defensive schemes depending on what team they play. They've been doing that all year.
Yeah.
This ain't just something they putting on. You know what I mean? Now, I'm gonna definitely respect Alter. But listen,
same kind of DNA in terms of it's just the program. They know how to win games. You understand?
It's right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alter, you cannot dismiss Alter. I'm not saying that.
And they
Alter.
just play smart. They play smart basketball, and they're very good at if one player is just not having their A game that night, they change things up a little bit and they make things work. So I like Alter as well, but I do see Afrocentric going pretty far.
Mm-hmm.
Same as always. Now to Region 9. Chippewa, we seen them last year, Worcester, Triway. Then we have LaGrange, Keystone, and Warrensville Heights. So Region 9, what we see coming out again, do we see something similar, or what's up with Region 9?
That's a tough one. A lot of different styles in that region. You know, with Warrensville Heights, they are obviously aggressive, kind of the same similar style as Afrocentric, up in your grill, you know, that activity. And they can generate energy very quickly. They're huge as far as in size. Chippewa, they just play hard. I mean, I said this the last time. I couldn't stand playing them when I played. They're still a problem now. That's coaching. That's a program, right? That's culture. So those are the two that that's what I'm going with you guys.
Yeah, that's pretty much who I have too. And I like Warrensville Heights a lot as well. I think they make teams feel very uncomfortable. Again, similar defense that Afrocentric provides as well too. And they do the same thing. And they've got some bigs that they take care of the inside very well.
Yeah.
And we'll keep it moving along. Region 10, Harvest Prep, who had a really impressive performance in the district final. Margaretta, Ottawa Glandorf, the Liberty Center. So who do we see out of Region 10?
Margaretta. I know they're gonna get mad at me. I'm already knowing.
Harvest Prep had a really good showing. They beat a 1 seed. As we've learned, they got a player back coming from injury who played tremendous.
Yeah. And they need that.
I have Harvest Prep.
You got Harvest.
Yes, I do.
Harvest is gonna get on me when they see.
I really do.
About last year, so.
I think Lofton. She is showing up, man. And you know what? She's been showing up all year. But now that they've got Woods back, that just makes them look
some big 3-pointers and keep being aggressive and keep a few of the turnovers low. That's not a knock or anything. It's just as a point guard, you're going to have the ball in your hands majority of the game. If she keeps that low, I think I'm with Angie. I think they could, judging by how they played in the district final, I think they could pull it off. They played really, they need to keep that same, you know what I mean? It was just pressure.
Somebody's got to keep messiness on the show. I will. That's you? You want to take that? Because I'm much more closer to Harvest Prep.
Got you.
Than I am Margaret. So I can't comment on, Lofton. Yeah. Because I know what she's doing to prepare for the game. But let's just say if they do get it, that's great. But I'm going to go with a staple name and create some mess on the show.
Okay. We like that. So how about Ottawa Glandorf and Liberty Center?
I got to go with Ottawa.
Another
we on the same page?
I think so too.
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
There we go.
Yep.
Yeah. Ottawa does it. Yeah.
That's what we like to see. Mm-hmm. And now for Region 11, Port Fry, North Adams, Portsmouth West, and Portsmouth. So we got both Portsmouth out there, down there competing. So who do we see making it to the regional final out of this region 11?
I'm gonna say, I mean, you got Fort Fry. Been there, done that, right? Portsmouth, they're young and they're good and they're talented. I don't know. What do you think, Angie? What do you got? I don't know.
I'm thinking Fort Fry.
Yep.
And I still think that Portsmouth is going to move on past Portsmouth West. Again, I like both of the Portsmouths a lot. I really do. Out of Portsmouth West, they've got a 5'2" senior guard. I'm going to think of her name. Give me a second. I'm looking it up because I have it in my notes. And I saw her back in January, and I loved her game. Emma Saiter.
Oh, yeah. Tough.
And she was a tremendous ball handler, could shoot the rock from anywhere. She's actually going to, where did I say she's going to for volleyball?
You said Marshall? We were talking about
Marshall.
Yep.
Marshall, yeah. So she's a
two-sport athlete.
That's what you want right there. I mean, you could be like both. Yeah. That's perfect. If I could play another sport, I'd play football.
Well, good luck with that.
I'd be on the line.
And I don't even have a retort because I did want to say something, but I don't have one.
I got the heart of a lineman. There, I said.
Okay, Jason Kelsey.
Yep. Yep, I do.
And I will add this: Portsmouth West has two other freshmen that are really solid players. And I am so sorry, my two dogs are barking in the background, and I really want to grab them right now, but I really can't because there's nothing I can really do right now.
They want
but yeah, I just got to do what I got to do. But I still think that Portsmouth is going to come out on top.
But they're coming. That area is really coming, up because again, you've got talent that's been, maturing through time, and now they're here in high school. I mean, they were dominating in middle school, and now they're on the high school scene. And so, just that quickly, and that's what we talk about Division 4, Division 3. You have these programs that are turning around, right? And so it's going to be interesting to see how quickly they're turning around, and if it takes them a year, 2 years to put it together, and now you've got a championship run, or could they, that luck we talk about, could they do it right now?
Right.
That's really the conversation, because these teams we have not really talked about because they're just, again, they're babies.
Yeah.
So
that was
the two freshmen that the two freshmen I was mentioning from Portsmouth West, Macy Wisman and Addie Stevens.
mm-hmm.
I mean, those two young ladies are going to have to play very well if they want a chance to move on past Portsmouth.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And that was our review for Division 3. Once again, sound like a broken record, but good luck to those ladies.
Yep.
We'll move on to Division 2. Region 7, Proctorville, Fairland, Zanesville, West Muskingum, Thornville, Sheridan, and Carrollton. We got, two pretty big names in this region, but Angie, Benson, let me know what you're thinking.
Angie, you go first. I already know what you're going to say.
I'm going first. I know y'all know what I'm going to say first, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it. But I'm telling you, Fairland is just a different team.
Yeah, they are.
And they are playing outstanding basketball, and they're doing it, and they're making it with the statement.
Yep.
I thought the way that they played against Unioto was just, I wasn't expecting that score. Now, I did hear, though, not trying to get off track here, the girl from Unioto that is I think a sophomore, junior.
Oh,
I heard she may have gotten injured. Huh?
Miley Smith?
No. I'm going to think of it here. Give me a second. Who was that? Because I think that may have.
You get an injury? I mean, that'll mess a lot of stuff. Like, oh my goodness.
It was Maya Hamilton.
Oh, okay.
It was Maya Hamilton.
She had just got back.
From what I had heard.
The injury before.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know then. Someone had mentioned that to me yesterday. And I forget who it was that told. I don't know, but I don't know that she was able to play a lot because of that. I don't know if it did happen in that game. I'm not sure. I might have to do like more digging on that. Yeah.
Well,
but I don't think that she was able to contribute, which
because she can ball.
would have also kind of hurt.
Yeah.
Yes, she can.
Well, we got.
But I do back to Fairland.
For my
sure. You guys got Fairland.
But I do think that Fairland is
Sheridan.
They're always
Sheridan.
there, and then their crowd is always going to be X Factor, D
Man.
Factor. They travel like no other.
Every factor. I mean, they come. Everybody is there.
Mm-hmm.
They probably bring
the whole town.
They probably bring their own snacks, don't they?
Probably. But you guys got Fairland going to the regional semis.
Yep.
That's out of Region 7.
And I see Sheridan too.
And Sheridan will probably see that matchup.
Agreed.
Yep, I think so.
We'll move along to Region 5.
Don't ask me about that matchup.
We got Shaker Heights Laurel, Gilmore Academy, Akron St. Vincent St. Mary, and then Streetsboro. So who you guys got coming out of Region 5? Benson?
Laurel.
I'm not allowed to comment on this.
St. Vincent
Oh,
St.
because
Mary.
you're a Homer. Angie, this
And
is
what
on
happened?
you.
What happened with Holden? Did I jinx them?
Probably.
Go ahead, Angie.
Probably.
I don't know. But I just see, I really do see Laurel's playing well. And I think we talked again in the last, our last episode of how like they were seeded 10th.
8th.
Was it 8th?
It might have been 10th.
Okay.
It might have been 10th.
I thought it may have been 10th.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're upset with that.
Yeah, they
Similar to, yeah.
to have that many.
So I think they've got a chip and they're playing well. And I really like Akron St. Vincent St. Mary a lot. They have they have the whole thing. They have size. They have quickness. They got shooters. And they have a mixture of like senior leadership and they've got young blood too. And it meshes well together.
They do. They've got a lot of diversity, and that's me being nice, okay? Because Holden, St. V, a lot of Carly knows what it is.
Yeah.
She can make me anywhere, any day, anytime. But then of course, I gotta give a shout out to my cousin in Streetsboro. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So you got
they just
people
may not
on
have
there.
enough. You know what I'm saying? But I agree.
like we keep saying, it's a new game in the tournament.
It is.
You know what I mean? You have the right strategy. We've seen one player get hot and a team just come around her and do their job. It changes.
It look totally different.
Look totally different.
I still got St. V with Angie though.
Okay.
I will not say that again.
Yep.
Oh, you hear what she said? And now in Region 6, Granville, Bryan, Copley, and Bellevue. Granville, 1 seed, still playing well. Who you guys got coming out Region 6?
I'm loving Granville.
I told you. I knew she was gonna say. But
I'm sorry, man. They are playing so well.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta give it.
And I think those last couple of years with Granville, they had fantastic teams that their road to Dayton was shortened. And I think that these same kids that are seniors now went through that.
Yeah.
And I just think that they're ready to get past it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, building off of those experiences. And so a lot of these teams have, this is probably, I wonder, I'm not saying we do this at all, because this would take forever. This might be one of the most mature state tournament groups of babies that have tried to get there. And now
they're ready to meet the moment.
Right. Because, I mean, sometimes you have a team that has never been there before. We've got a lot of names on here who have their season got cut short.
Right.
But it wasn't cut short back in district. We're talking about like regional finals, regional semi, like that. You know what I mean? Or, state, runner-ups.
Yeah.
We're talking about those type of teams that are on these lists across the board from Division 4 all the way to Division 1.
Okay.
We're old. That's what I'm saying. Like, Ohio's basketball right now is old. Like,
we got some seniors who look like they want to go out on top.
Speaking of one, get to that Region 8.
But they ain't seniors yet.
That's the scary part.
That's the part. These are seniors.
And so, yeah, that's the scary part.
Region 8, the 2-time defending champion Purcell Marion. We have Bloom Carroll, Hamilton Baden, and then Dayton Archbishop Carroll. Look, we know the name at the top of that in Region 8, Purcell Marion.
I could go home right now. I could just walk right on stage.
We made that
right
decision when we did the scenes. We did the scenes preview. It's just people know what you get with this team. They've been here before, like you said. We just said it was the seniors, but these are juniors. I have one senior, maybe 1 or 2 seniors, but their mainstays are juniors, and they can't run it back again. But it looks like again, Region 8, and then going on, to the finals. It's theirs to.
I mean, the question is, who's going to beat them?
Yeah.
I mean, look at who.
You got to have size, and every child on that
you got to have a miracle.
Whoever they go up against has to be able to dribble the basketball very, very well and handle defensive pressure.
Yeah, because they're going to pressure the whole
and off the top of
court.
In full court. And really, off the top of my head, the only other team right now that I can even kind of think that would be able to play the game decent with them.
Come on, Angie, come on.
Is Fairland.
I can see that.
And if they can Fairland's got great size, it's like
they've got size. They can handle the basketball. They're patient. They're patient, and they've got a coach that will do everything and anything for them to make it work.
Do they?
I like them.
I don't know how the bracket works, but would they see each other in the regional semis or
who are you talking about?
I'm not regional finals. Yeah, not regional finals. I'm talking about Final Four.
That is probably a championship matchup if they get there.
Bro,
that might be
a championship matchup.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Front row seat, popcorn.
Yes. I really do think that.
I like it, Angie. I think if you don't put a team in, I would put that team in. You're absolutely right. And Fairland knows that. They're not. You don't think they know who's on this list?
Yeah.
So you don't think they've been?
Oh, they've known.
Targeting.
They've known for a few years.
They've known for years. My point.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you have the belief to do it, I think a lot of times, especially with great teams and teams that have a history of success, you got to know you can step on the court and beat them. You can't come in like, we know who they are. We're going to lose. No. You got to walk in there like, I'm here,
right,
and we can beat you. Because the minute they step on the floor and you show any kind of just a bit of lack of confidence, them kind of teams will jump on you. So you got to be ready. And it looks like this team.
That would be a game.
Right time, right place.
I think that would be a game.
That would be a game because they're not fearful of Purcell whatsoever. They are not fearful of them. And I don't think that Purcell would do this, but come into the game like nonchalant. Mm-hmm. I've never seen them do that. Yeah. I saw it last year a little bit. They were younger, but I just don't think they've got that in their DNA to do that.
Maybe for a quarter, and then they'll ramp it
and
up.
Then they come back.
And then they come back. Yeah. But not
like that.
And that was Division 2. We got one left, and everybody knows what it is, what those teams do in Division 1. This is the regional semi preview. Again, I'm Candace Allen, Tenishia, Benson, Angie, Saiter. For Division 1, we got Region 2 that sits on the top. Homestead Falls, Freeman Ross, White House, Anthony Wayne, and Massillon Jackson. Who you guys got coming out Region 2? We're going to go with Angie first.
Oh, man. I like Anthony Wayne. I like Anthony Wayne to the point where I can see them going onto state. I really could see that. I think that they, again, too, they have a lot of bigs and they have a lot of people that can shoot the ball outside and inside consistently.
Agreed.
I really do. Yeah. Man, I'm looking at all this. I like, I'm going to mispronounce it again. I'm going to. The Magnificent Magnificate. Magnificent.
Oh, Magnificate? Yeah, they tough.
Magnificate.
They should just change their name to Magnificent. How about
I wish they would.
Talk to their head of school and get that all worked out.
Magnificate is
I'm just going to call them the Magnificents.
Yes, the Magnificents.
I like the Magnificents. I like them a lot. And boy, and then we look down at Region 4 and 3. too.
Magnificent is in Region 1 with Lyndhurst Brush.
Brush is young.
Uniontown.
Brush is young.
China. But before we move on, Region 2, who you got coming out, Benson?
Oh, I got Wayne.
You got Wayne?
Yeah, I definitely got Wayne. I like
Okay.
Homestead Falls too. I mean, again, a name we've seen before. So, I mean, again, we're old. We got a lot of experience on the floor. So these teams are just going to beat the crap out of each other.
Right.
And Anthony Wayne, the same thing. I mean, but I think this year they really, really got it together.
Yeah.
I do. I think they learned to have balance inside, outside, defensively. They're great size. Yeah. And they've got all those tools.
And I'm telling you, I saw that with Anthony Wayne even this past summer.
Yeah.
I think they were at an event at Reynoldsburg. I can't remember.
Yeah. And in fall.
I think they may have been at Reynoldsburg, but
Yep.
I thought they kind of had it together then. But they have just, and then I saw them again, like early season, and they look very sound.
Okay.
Yeah, put it together.
And Region 1, again, Magnificat, Brush, Uniontown Lake, Medina. Who you guys got coming out?
We'll go with Magnificent.
Yep.
The
Magnificent for me.
They're from my area, so I'll talk to their head of school. No worries. We'll get it together.
So
They'll understand. It'll be okay.
I'm going with them.
Okay.
And then Region 4, as always, is that Cincinnati region, which looks
This should be
paper. I mean, as we've stated in the Seeds preview, these teams in Cincy just beat each other up just to get
this
the
should be illegal.
opportunity
This should
to
literally
get to
be
the state.
illegal.
Yes, so it's Cincinnati, Princeton, Cincinnati, Mount Notre Dame, Springboro, and Mason. The region is what it is. You heard those names. Who do you guys got coming out of here? Will we see another Princeton and Mason, who seems to always meet up at this point or the regional final level to get to state? So 2 years ago was Mason. Last year, obviously, Princeton wins the state championship. Could Mount Notre Dame and Springboro make some noise? So what do you guys think?
Honestly, I don't know. I think it could be anybody's, honestly. I just think this should be illegal. Yeah, Cincinnati has to fight this hard like this. I mean, some of our best basketball has came out of Cincinnati. So I'm hoping with all these 14 different divisions we're going to have next year, that this gets split up. Because this is ridiculous. You know what I mean? Literally, we could literally have 2 of these teams could be state champions.
Oh, for sure.
And how many years have that happened?
For sure.
It's been
I know when
quite
I was
a few years.
there, Mount Notre Dame was racking up everything.
Everything. And they did it for years. And they still had to go up against the Princetons. They still had to go up against the Masons. I'm really irritated by that. Really frustrated because you see good games in regionals.
Yeah.
And then sometimes we see it where a Cincinnati team has came to state and didn't perform at the level that they should have when there was 3 other teams in Cincinnati you could have replaced.
And sometimes you just get beat up by the time you get there.
You're tired.
It happens.
Your knees is old. Your hips hurt.
What about you, Angie? You got a team or 2 coming out of Region 4?
I think Princeton and I think Springboro. I think it's Springboro's turn.
Springboro. Explain.
Oh, I knew you were going to ask that. I think they're playing really well too. Let me go to something right here. Hang on a second. Wait. I'm pulling up my notes here. I think Bryn Martin is she is playing her best basketball.
Yeah.
And I think the rest of the girls just kind of I think they've really been meshing well together, and I just think it's their time. I do like Mason a lot though too, but I think Springboro's got it.
They're older. Again, we're old. They're older.
Yep, they're a little bit older. Mm-hmm.
Yep, they're a little bit older as far as a unit. Mason is a tad bit. I don't want to say they're not old, but they're a little bit younger. Their energy is from a younger group. So I think they could go on a whole nother year and be fine. And then Princeton, again, it's their crown. So honestly,
if you want it, come take it.
And Cincinnati has no problem doing that.
Yeah. That's the Cincinnati region. And lastly, in Division 1, that region out of the Central Ohio, Region 3, we got Bishop Watterson, who put on a show yesterday. Olentangy. These are the Olentangy Braves. There's about 3-4 Olentangys.
There's 15 of them.
We want to make sure we shout out the correct one. This is the Lewis Center Olentangy Braves. And then there's the Powell Olentangy Liberty. And then lastly, the number 1 seed, Pickerington Central out of Picktown. So who you guys see? Well, first, because we actually got to attend the Central District yesterday.
Yeah.
Angie, Bishop Watterson had a game against Marysville. I think Marysville got out to like an 8-0 run. Coach called a timeout. I don't want to put what he. I don't know what he's saying. Like encouragement.
What do you say?
Or if it was hey, he said something in that timeout. Those girls came out and just balled.
They lost it.
They lost it defensively, offensively, everything. It was just what a performance.
I mean, he could have said a prayer. He could have said a prayer.
He could have said a prayer.
He definitely could have said it.
Let me put it. Sophie, listen. She put on her best. Sophie, yes. You know what?
Behind the line?
Behind the line, going to the basket. I mean, she was taking people off the dribble one-on-one, pulling up in the mid-range. It got to a point where Sophie didn't miss like maybe 3 or 4 baskets. That's how. And then don't get me wrong, there are other teammates who hit timely baskets and timely 3-point shots. So that's all you need.
Team effort.
Yes. We kind of mentioned it was like, will they have enough offense outside of Sophie? But her teammates played their role, which is the only thing you can ask for in a state tournament game.
Yeah.
Dogged down defensively. That was like the first time I've seen Marysville get out of their rhythm. If you see Marysville, they cut, they back cut, they pass, swing. When I'm telling you, they mucked up the game so bad that all of that, it just got disrupted.
It didn't even look like Marysville.
It didn't look like Marysville. They got out of their rhythm a little bit, and then the 3-point ball wasn't showing. So it was a testament of a couple of things. You have to make shots when it gets to a tight game like that. But Bishop Watterson did what a perform. I did want to shout them out because they put on a performance yesterday.
Yeah,
they absolutely did,
and it was a great. We'll see what they do against the Braves, who, I mean, they've had a tough one against Hilliard. Had a tough one against Reynoldsburg.
Was it though?
We can talk about it. It was. I mean,
Hilliard, it went into overtime.
Oh, Hilliard, yeah.
Hilliard, yeah. Listen, when your team gets called for 8 fouls in the first 4 minutes,
I heard they shot like 38 free throws, 40-something.
It was 40-something free throws. That changes the dynamic of the game. But
did they get cheated? Yep, I'm stirring it. You know what? Did they get cheated in the game?
There's no way you can call 8 fouls in 4 minutes against one team in a tournament game. I think that's excessive. That's something we were at the Central District yesterday. Yeah. We did not see that. 4 games straight, we didn't see that. Right. Against one team, 4 fouls in the first 4 minutes of the first quarter. And then to lose your head coach. Because, understandably, you gonna get some. You got to sit out. You gonna get some action if you call 8 fouls on me in the first 4 minutes. Do we have that on video? No. But that wasn't it. I guess there's a rule, and this is something girls we should talk about, is that as a head coach, if you get one technical foul, you cannot stand up. You have to sit. You have to sit for the rest of the game. Coach gets up to call one of her players over. No warning, no nothing. This is a tournament game. This was no warning, no, hey, the referee comes over, a reminder of the rule, you gotta sit the rest of the quarter. Clear across the floor. Didn't even get a text line, just said, you gotta go. In the second quarter of the game. So I'm not gonna say they got cheated, but I'm gonna say you put a team
in a disadvantage.
At a complete disadvantage.
Because you have nobody to advocate for you. I'm not saying that assistant coaches couldn't step up, but again, you're going into this strategy with your head coach's strategies and what she wants to do.
Correct. And the way Denia McDonald was playing, the way Aubrey Price was playing, you take away that first 4 minutes in the first quarter, it's a completely different ballgame. That's how I relay that. I don't think we got to see a competition between two teams fairly based on what happened the first 4 minutes of the first quarter. I keep reiterating it because that's a part of the sport. That it's excessive. And with the new rule where you get 5 team fouls, is you shoot 2 free throws.
Yeah,
so that
ain't
knocks
even
you
one
out.
on. Which I feel like we should claim back every last one-on-one free throw that we have.
I like that logic.
My numbers
Push
back.
it to 17 fouls. But yeah, there was a huge free throw disparity. So I'm not going to say that, but I will say they were
it was
a clear disadvantage. We didn't get to see
I didn't know.
two teams compete like that.
I didn't know she got. Oh,
And you don't do
this is her
that.
first year.
But you don't do that to a coach in a regional, in a district.
There's some rules you gotta go. So, is there an official board that we need to review to go back with them? Because 41 free throws is a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And I can understand if a team plays aggressively. It's just a part of their DNA. But at the same time,
And I think Reynoldsburg did.
Yeah, but don't penalize them coming into it like, since this team is aggressive, I'm going to have a quick whistle.
Right.
Let the girls play. See if the aggressiveness is matched on both sides. If it is, let them play. This is a state tournament. They're not little girls out here playing, hopscotch or, pity pat or whatever you call it.
And I think you should. I really feel like, I don't know, this, and we'll get you another show about this.
For sure.
I just feel like certain teams, I think we've had this in our league, in our independent league or prep schools, is that there's such a difference of play style.
Mm-hmm.
I think that teams need to be kind of labeled because I think you need to have a certain level of experience coaching against those teams that are a little bit more aggressive, maybe quicker, more, attack the rim type of teams, because that game looks totally different.
For sure.
That foul looks totally different when you've got out of 72 possessions, they're taking it to the rim 52 times.
Yeah.
That's a totally different game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it's also, I think it's just a women's, girls, ladies, whatever you want to call it, basketball thing. They haven't found a good way to referee girls. We see it across the board is that physicality is going to be called different some games. There's no metric. You can watch it from high school to college to the WNBA. You got some teams where you see them being beaten up on each other where it's a lot more physical. You see other games like last year's national championship. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark were on the bench the whole first half.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't have Aaliyah Boston in the Final Four.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't get to play at all. And basically was set because of some ridiculous foul. Just because she's bigger, stronger, you can get away with a lot more. So it's across the board. So if you're Reynoldsburg and people think you play, that's your DNA. We're going to get in your face. We're going to guard you really, really hard. You can't come in with no touch. You can't come in thinking, I got to have a quick whistle because they play aggressive style of basketball. And when we say aggressive, I mean defensively. Like they're not we're going to run zone and just like this. No, we're man to man in your face all game. You got to let teams play. And I don't think a team should be penalized because you can end up with a situation that happened in the district semifinal where you get that disproportionate amount of free throws and fouls and things like that, which takes the team out of the game. Don't get me wrong. The Braves played well. Yeah. Obviously, they made it to the regional semifinals. They have a chance to get to the final. They have really good players. Their freshman is a
Mobley.
She can take the ball down the court at her. She can get big. She grew up. When I say she's mean, I don't mean that in a negative way, but she's mean. She doesn't play with this, no. Like, I'm coming in to big body you. You understand me? I like players who play like that. Yeah. So they have all, it was their shooters. They have shooters. But that was just a little bit that happened at that. But
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We always got to a little tangent here and there.
I'll say a couple things. So what helped out Watterson yesterday was that Kat, I hope I'm saying her last name right, Kat Goring. She's a guard. I'm pretty sure that's the one that I am thinking of. I'm pretty sure it's 4. I'm looking at her picture now. Yeah, I think it is her. But she did not score, but she took phenomenal care of the basketball. She took care of the basketball and was able to relieve Fee a little bit and help her out some with taking the ball up the court. I mean, she was slithering past defenders. That was big. And I really look at those kind of things that don't show up on the stats. And that was big. yesterday. I thought Mosh Holder, number 10 from Waterston, also played very, very well. She's all over the place, can shoot outside, and is physical inside, banging around for boards. And Zeal was just
Angie, Bishop Waterston, or Angie. They shocked the world once.
I don't know.
They did. They did. But I still think that it's Angie. I think it's Angie.
Yeah.
I just think that they are. Stafford is just. She is in a zone.
She's in a zone.
That I think anybody's going to get proud of her zone.
Yeah, she's
absolutely locked in. I love the part, and this is what I told. Whitney yesterday. I said I love the part where you noticed that they were starting to come back and score, and you were like, slow down. Like I could hear her saying that. She was on the baseline. I saw it. I heard it from the opposite side. And it's those kind of leadership roles that I like to see too. And
that's huge.
Yeah.
And a lot of them stepped up yesterday for Olentangy. Oh gosh. Hang on. I loved Rankin. I think she's such an athlete. She's just quick, and her defensive pressure is just wonderful. And I love her dribble penetration. Maya played really well too, number 33. And they just played really well overall. So I see Olentangy and I see Pickerington Central moving on too.
Yeah,
I think they are deep.
Yeah.
Pickerington
they're deep. Their defense is they just hound everyone.
Yes,
that's what they do.
And Olentangy Liberty, I do want to shout out a team who didn't make the regional semifinals. Okay. But Canal Winchester, their performance yesterday, they were down maybe 20 points in the first half to
I think so.
Liberty. Yep. And kept playing, kept fighting, lit fire, and got it within 6. And, you try to get it to 2, just couldn't do it at the end. But I do want to shout out that team and their performance yesterday because they put on the show. And Olentangy had to be careful because it appeared that they start playing not to lose.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's when you get really hesitant and things like that. But shout out to Canal Winchester and their performance. They played extraordinarily well.
Dunn had a phenomenal. The fourth quarter, her threes were just.
Oh yeah,
and they were all from the corner, same spot, every time.
Yeah,
every time. London Johnson, London Johnson, great game. Pierce, great game. And you know what? Hey, while we're on a roll like this, I want to talk about Marysville for a moment because those ladies, that was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
To see that because they had a great team. But Addie Tweed was phenomenal yesterday. She played really, really well. And JoJo and the Price girls, they played well. They came up short.
They sure do.
So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
They come in
at the beginning of the process.
They're going to have a fire lit next year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because the fire they lit last year.
For sure.
Let's be honest.
They got
nobody
finals.
expected that.
Yeah.
Right. So then again, you learn from ups and downs, and then by year 3, it looks and it feels different. I would not be shocked if we go back next year on the show, we rewind this, replay it.
Right. And we're going to see it.
And we're going to be talking about Marysville.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll end off the whole preview again. We mentioned they're the 1 seed in Region 3, but they're 1 seed in Division 1 is Pickerington Central. They got it all. They have the All-American. They have a freshman yesterday who, I mean, the aggressiveness. I mean, she wasn't scared, fearful, nothing. She got that it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a certain swag move that people, a certain wiggle that they had that you just see the players are in their element. She's a freshman and she had it, but they got a solid point guard in Riley Best. What do you guys see at Pickerington Central, seeing that we're now at the regional semifinal stage?
Here is what Pickering Central has that I think Coach Wallace has done a phenomenal job with.
Yep.
You've got all these kids that know how to play the game, but what they really do well is they know what their role is. Like I can go right down through that, like Bess knows that she's 3-point, take care of the rock and passing. Jaden Tucker, she takes care of the basketball, strong defender. Zoe Coleman can do it all. Kennedy Gordon, who isn't talked about enough. This girl can shoot the rock, but you know what? She does everything else. She takes care. She's set up her teammates for great high percentage shots, and her defense is very solid. And her boards. Blossom, best defender out there. Period. The end.
Yep.
Like you can just bury. All of them. Faith King. I love her speed. I love her defense. You know what? I thought Almond gave some solid minutes yesterday. She came in there and she didn't allow Kennedy to score. She banged around and took care of business on the inside.
Yeah.
They all know their roles, whether they're in there for 3 minutes, 15 minutes, or 20 or the whole game. And that's why they're tough.
Yeah. And people don't give enough credit to Chris with doing that.
Yeah.
Like some of these girls have waited their turn.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest. Some of them have had to sit behind great players that came out of Pick Central for the last 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
I was like, keep going. They got 9 straight district championships. Yeah.
You've had to sit behind those players and to put a team together again.
Yeah.
Again, because everybody thought that last year was it.
You lost.
Let's be honest.
Seniors.
Let's call it what it is. Yeah. Everybody sat on and said, "Oh, well, last year that's good. That's the year.
Yeah,
they won't be as good this year." And now again, you can't say anything now. You got to give Chris his props now.
Yeah.
Period. You can't go away from that now because it was, well, they're not going to do this, they're not going to do that. But here we are talking about a team that does it on the offensive end and the defensive end with, again, knowing your role. That's coaching. That's culture.
Right.
When you can get girls to believe in their role and buy into their role and do it consistently, yeah, you got to stay contender.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, yeah, shout out to Chris and the whole entire crew. Because I feel like people slept on them. I feel like people disrespected them. I do. Period.
Yep.
They went through the South Carolina thing. She lost 5 seniors. And everybody was like,
what you gonna do now?
They're 16. They're not gonna do anything.
And then you talk about development. Again, so these girls are developing and getting better. You got programs that's not.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, the kids are getting better. And then when it's their time, Kennedy Gordon didn't play like that.
Yeah.
She sat her turn. Am I lying?
She was sitting behind with
She did.
Sat her turn for years.
Madison Green, yeah.
Come on, all those years. Riley Bash came back from an injury. Then she's back. I mean, Blossom had to come in and step up.
Yeah.
Defensively. She didn't have a choice. Barry been solid this whole time. She's been leading the state for how many years? These are kids.
Hey, Jaden Tucker.
Jaden Tucker.
She is a prime example of just waiting her turn and trusting the process.
There you go.
And that's what she's done. And it gives me goosebumps to think that because
trust the process.
That just fires me up. Like I remember watching
a lot of people because at the end of the day, it's not enough people and parents and coaches, and I don't care. Go on. Because it's not a lot of people that's talking about it. We send these girls to college basketball and they don't know how to earn their time.
Facts.
They don't know how to sit behind somebody that didn't put in time more than they have.
Yeah.
Or
just put it out better.
Or they're older. Like, and so you see this program that has done it, and then these girls, I'm sorry, my hat goes out to Tucker, to Gordon, to all the girls that sat there through great players. And now it's their time and they showing up. You got all my respect.
And they're shining. They're shining because they learned from the other players and the coaches. I am sure Chris and all of them were just like, we got you. We see you.
Just
trust.
Trust the process. Stay with the program. Do what you're supposed to do. It's all this moving and all this extra stuff. And then you sit up there.
It felt like transfer to get to your feelings.
Yeah, because everybody, you get up and you move and you got something good right there. Yeah. Instead of just waiting and seeing how it turns out. And they did that. You know how hard it was sitting behind Madison Green When I said he wasn't getting off the floor,
but that's the thing, though. I think it's the transfer has got everybody's mind kind of just warped, where it's like you should marvel at the opportunity of being able to sit behind a Division I point guard. Like, you know what it takes to lead a program, lead a team, control the ball, be able to score, get better year after year, get to a top SEC school. Like, who wouldn't want to sit behind?
I'm going to learn.
Right.
I learned from it. I'm not running. I'm not about to sit up there and be the show and they ain't really practice to be the show. No,
right.
I'm not doing
that.
Because
in my mind, that's my competition. Nobody on the floor. I need to run it how Madison run it. And then
how can I get better than her?
Exactly.
But I got somebody that's literally writing a program that's going to help me get it better.
Correct.
Than me going out here and being the show by myself.
Correct.
And don't have ain't getting better in practice.
Right.
Ain't working hard. I mean, that's just
and won't be in this position.
That's crazy.
You stayed in, you bought in. Now again, they're back in the regional semifinals.
They got my respect.
They lost 3 or 4 seniors last year. They're in the same place. They got a 1 seed. Had a really tough schedule this year, so they know what to expect. They made it to the state semifinal last year. So
top 25 team in the country.
In the country, got a McDonald's All-American once again. That's very sensational.
I will say one thing, though, just to put this out as a little carrot. If Liberty plays and shoots the rock from behind the arc like they did yesterday, that could be, I will say it as interesting.
Okay.
Because it seemed like any child that was shooting the ball was, it was nothing but nylon.
Yeah.
That's how well they shot the 3 ball yesterday. But we've seen where teams, if they live and die on it, when they're shooting well, it looks awesome. Yeah. And when they're not shooting well, it hurts.
And that's so. I'm thinking about, do I want to throw another question? Because we said we were going to keep it at the regional semis. Do we see? Just to close it all out, do we see out of any teams, divisions that we talked about, do we see one team that could be a surprise outside of like the mainstays that we've already kind of went through? We see the Pickerington Central, the Olmsted Falls, but we got the Princetons. We know the Berlin Highlands. We know Afro Central out there in Division III. But is there a team that Fairland is one that's coming to mind that is just like right time, right moment? This is just what it is.
That's tough. Because these teams we're talking about that are staple names, they have so much depth and experience. That's tough. Fairland, but we talked about them.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Springboro. I would be shocked if Springboro does gets that far. Coming out of that region.
Out of the region.
Yeah, that would be a surprise. That would be the one where it's just like, what just happened?
Okay.
And I think honestly, I think if Springboro being honest, they'd probably say the same thing. Like, what happened? We got a miracle. You know what I mean? But I mean, that's kudos to the other teams that you're playing. You're respecting your competition.
Right.
I'm saying, but if they did make it out, I mean, we wouldn't be shocked if Mason did it. We wouldn't be shocked if Princeton.
No.
So that would be one that I'd be like, oh, okay. Older, more mature, let's go.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I'm with that logic.
Yeah.
Well, as always, thank you, Angie, Benson, for joining Girls Only Hoops for the preview show. We're going to do this again. We got the state Final Four preview.
And we'll be there all
And we're going to be there
weekend.
all
working so hard.
Yes. We'll be on site for the Division I and Division IV regional semis and regional finals. They're all week, March 5th. I think then there's the 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Yep.
So we'll be there. We were on site watching all the good teams play, and then we'll be back next week for a state final preview to give you all the teams, players, actions of what's going to be going on at the state final. As always, I am Candace Allen. This is Tenishia Benson, Angie Saiter. This is Girls Only Hoops. Stay tuned and thank you for joining us. Like, comment, subscribe. I keep forgetting that. All of that good stuff on our pages. Get pumped up, Instagram, Twitter, our YouTube. So like, comment, subscribe, all that good thing. This is Girls Only Hoops.